Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Business Morning on Channels Television, and our conversation for today centers on maritime issues, looking at the congestion at the ports and the issues with cargo clearance. And I have here with me a member, Freight Forwarders Group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Ikenna Nwosu, and of course, Mr. Emma Okoli. He is the Assistant Secretary, Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents at Papa Chapter. Good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the program.
Good morning, Chinazi.
Well, I'm going to start with you, Emma. Right, what exactly is the problem? We have a lot of congestions there at the port. What exactly is the issue? I mean, this has been a recurring incident.
Thank you very much. Issue of congestion at the ports was dated back as early as 1970s. In the 70s, we witnessed the first congestion because of economic boom of the moment. Federal government engaged in activities of construction and developmental projects that resulted to massive importation of materials. So we witnessed the first congestion in the 70s that gave birth to refurbishing and expansion of some existing ports, even to the also gave birth to the construction of Tinkan Island Port that was completed under 15 months. That was 1977. Now, there have been various challenges, but the question is, how do we tackle each of these challenges? In the 70s, it was the first congestion. In the coming up to 90s, we witnessed inefficiency of the Nigerian Port Authority. That resulted to the Nigerian Port Authority being quoted as a public limited company. In other words, now Nigerian Port PLC. Yet, up to 2000, we started witnessing inefficiency again. The required services, we are not getting it from MPA. We now introduce the policy of concession. Here we are. Activities of concessions, the concessioners, we are still witnessing the same issue
so what
of congestion.
The problem?
The major problem is now this time around is that we have to look into the activities of these concessioners and also shipping companies.
Yeah.
Also the facilities, infrastructures, particularly the roads leading to this complex. These are the areas we need to look into. The roads have they fed there are bad roads resulting to gridlocks. And also the activities of all these concessioners, they are not helping matters.
What kind of activities?
For example, delay in loading of imports. If you book for examination, they will not, if you book for examination, there will be delay in positioning your container. You are ready for delivery after your TDO, there will be delay in loading your consignment. Also, many other issues like if you come in with an empty container, discharge your empty container at the port. They will not at the same time, if you have TDO, loading order, to load and export, they will not load you. All these things. This will result to, if the truck goes in, drop the empty container, you have to come outside the port again and queue up. Only God knows where you will find space to squeeze in yourself. All these things are causing serious delays. Okay. Containers are not being loaded as at when due. Many other issues, as the time goes on, we'll have a look at them.
Okay. Ikenna, you are in the freight forwarding business. You just mentioned, you talked about the shipping companies and, of course, the concessionaires. What is your take on that, really?
Jimmy, thanks. My colleague has been quite expository. The situation is multidimensional. And we're happy that the new regulator of the port, economic regulator, that's the Nigerian Shippers Council, is taking the matter up directly and decisively. On the part of the concessionaires, we find that they cannot cope. They don't have enough floor space to cope with the volume of importation into the country. So with a lot of investment promotion by the government, a lot of importation is coming in. Power projects, agriculture. So the congestion is increasing in that regard, such that when trucks come into the terminal, they don't have enough space to maneuver to load. What more, the forklifts. It's part of what causes the congestion.
Yeah. Again,
the access road to the ports are in completely palpable condition, and these are federal roads. And there's this dichotomy between the Lagos state government and the federal government as to who should fix the roads. We don't understand why the contractor who is handling that end of the Apapa-Oshodi Express, 10 months going, he hasn't finished the job, but Julius Berger is already finishing their own end. So that worry is there. Why the delays? And you have a lot of people's cargo falling on the road. And because practically half the road in front of Tinkan Island port is eaten up by large gullies that are turning into craters, we find trucks have to queue in one line, and that makes a very long queue. So Apapa-Oshodi Express access point into the seaport, Tinkan Island, is practically 90% inaccessible. Okay, the concept of offloading empty containers inside the seaports, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce has consistently held the opinion that that is wrong. It is not global.
Who does
practice.
that?
When you take your container out, loaded, you offload. The shipping companies have agreement with the concessionaires, starting with MPA and inherited by the concessionaires, that you move into the seaport with the empty container and offload the empty. Okay. Now that adds to congestion. Holding bays for empty containers should be outside the port. Because those containers carrying empties are also competing for space with those who are coming to load cargo that is for delivery. The matter is further complicated by the Apapa being the main point for offloading of downstream petroleum products. Nigeria is importing hugely. So the tankers must come there to take the cargo. Now that adds to the complication. Okay. In addition to the cement factories, so you have the cement trucks, articulated trucks, you have the tankers, you have the containers. How do people get to work?
All right.